Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. I don't know about you, but the energy has been pretty wild this week. It's been a great week, but there feels like a texture of energy in the air. I don't know if you can relate to that. Let me know in the comments if I am the only one or if you're experiencing it as well and you have no words for it. My husband's feeling the same way. A lot of my clients are telling me the same thing. So must be something juicy, right? Something in the air. So today we are going to be talking about how to master this stealthy little wobble that happens after we have a leap. And the reason why I want to chat with you about it today is because I happened to go through this last week. So a lot of what I share is really from experience. I am a 6-2 generator, and my part of my purpose is to gather experiences for my own mastery, of course, but also that informs how I help my community and my cherished clients and so on. So I share that because I do like to share my experiences. I do like to share what I'm learning in case it's of service to you. So if you've been in my world for a while, you know I love to talk about money. I love to help people make money because it's not about the money, right? It's about who we become on that journey and discovering more and more of who we are. Money is a consciousness. We don't need to seek it. We already are the embodiment of consciousness and anything that has a consciousness. So we already know how to tune into the consciousness of our business or our body or money or various things like that. And on our money journey, when we want to call more in, we have this 3-step process, which you've maybe heard me chat about before, which is that we really need to learn how to master asking for it, asking the universe, asking money, asking our business, asking clients, asking colleagues, asking whatever, not for money necessarily, but to be supported in the receipt of that money. And of course, asking our higher selves and asking our inner child as well, asking the part of us that's traumatized, asking all the time to be able to receive more. And our relationship with the energy of asking will determine how easy it is for us to ask for the sale, ask for a raise, ask for a discount, ask our cell phone provider to give us a better rate, or any of those things, right? And then when we ask, presumably we receive. And then we have this other journey of learning how to receive and releasing all of the things around 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Is the rug going to be pulled out from underneath me? And all of these various things that we navigate, and we all go through it on some level. We each have one that's kind of more dominant, right? But really the journey, this part of the journey is learning how to master receiving compliments, receiving abundance, receiving support, and all of the other things from actual physical realities and then also etheric realities as well. And then we move into holding, right? So many times people are actually great at asking, they're great at receiving, but they are still in the wobble around holding it. So how that might look is they have a big windfall. Let's say they make 50K in sales this week. And then magically they have a massive flooding issue in their house that's going to cost 20K. And then the transmission in their car goes, and that's another, 5K. And you get where I'm going with this, right? Now, all of those things were going to happen. It just seems to always be perfectly timed with this big windfall when we have an issue with holding money. And it's not that stuff can be controlled. It's that we then start to create a story that there's no point in letting it in, because every time I let it in, something happens and it's already spoken for. I can't really enjoy it because I'm already waiting for it to disappear. That's an example. But alternately, we also know that when we decide we want to do something, even if the money's not there, when we're really all in, and I see this all the time with people stepping into group coaching programs, for example, they don't know where they're going to get the 2K, let's say, and then magically they get an unexpected rebate on their taxes, or someone that they lent money to that they forgot all about all of a sudden remembers and pays them back, or any of those things. So we know that whole continuum of energy is always at play. Just as we can manifest unexpected places for the money to go, we can also have money come in unexpected ways to support what we desire and what we truly 100% decided to be all in for. So that being said, many of you know I bought a new company called the Podcast Connector, and I didn't need to buy a company. I wanted to buy this company. I had the desire to do that because, well, I was a client and I enjoyed the service. But I've used these kind of services for many, many years. I learned a long time ago that yes, I can pitch, and I actually know how to pitch because I've been doing media for so long. But I don't need to be the one that does it just because I'm good at it. I can delegate that because my time is actually better spent. And the same is true for all of us, right? We can focus stuff that we're good at, but really let's just save that energy for what our zone of genius is, right? And so I delegate that. And I also really wanted to give people an opportunity to have access to the kinds of platforms that I had to spend a lot of sweat equity knocking on doors for. Meaning when I first started out, nobody was opening doors for me. I had to open my own doors. And it's not, I don't feel entitled. I don't mean that anyone did anything wrong. In part, that was my own lone wolf syndrome. I didn't know how to be supported. I didn't know how to ask to be supported. And I had a story that it was easier to support myself. So I created that reality. And I also know that I also know how potent the being on stages of any kind, virtual, podcast, radio, print publication, etc. I know how essential that is in building credibility, in shortening the know, like, and trust factor so that people can do business with us, and so on and so on. So in a lot of ways, it's a legacy-based business for me at this point. I've already created several jobs in the short time that I've owned it, and it's based on how I build businesses, because I've built many. There's a level of effort that I put into the beginning to really exponentialize the energy of momentum so that the momentum can do the heavy lifting, right? And so that I just now pop in every once in a while once the groundwork is sort of laid, and once we've, removed any duct tape and replaced it with Gorilla Glue, so to speak, right? And all the things. And then I just let the team run with it. And so it's a labor of love. I actually love doing it. I've loved all the colleague calls I've been having to collaborate. I love all the new clients we've been inviting in and hearing about their missions. That's really important to me, to work with mission-driven people. So, but anyways, so it just so happens that at the same time, my Oracle deck designer is ready to move the needle on all of the finishing touches. If you've ever bought a house, you know what I mean, where you put an offer on a house and there's all this like frenetic energy in the beginning, and then you might wait several weeks or months even, and then right before you're about to take ownership of the house, there's all this frenetic energy and people act like they didn't know this was coming. And I don't mean us, I mean the lawyers that this isn't their first rodeo, the real estate agents, the lending companies, whatever, right? Everyone's all in a frenetic thing and they need you to drop everything, and everything's 911 and whatever. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with the Oracle deck, but what I am saying is that we went from waiting, because I've been on her waiting list for a long time. That's how good she is. And now it's like, I need the book and I need all the cards and I need, whatever. So we've got that going on. Of course, we're hiring all kinds of people for both companies, and there's just a lot going on. And I share this just to give you context, because these are all amazing things. The Oracle deck was on my business bucket list for 18 years. I'm finally bringing that to life this year for the Akashic Records. And this Podcast Connector is an amazing company. I love everyone. I love my team. I love all of our clients. I love what we do. It feels light. It's all great. And hiring even people in my sort of, I'll call it primary company, or my company that I've been with for a really long time, my purpose-based company. We're expanding, we're creating new programs, we're running projects. I'm running a really intensive 50K cash injection for my clients this month, 30-day sort of challenge ish. And so that's a lot. And I'm finalizing details to bring on an associate coach. And there's just a lot of really cool things going on. And wow, that's a lot of expansion in a very short period of time. And I'm used to expanding. I'm a generator. I move quickly. I make things happen quickly. I have a high level of conscientiousness. If you've ever done the NEO assessment with Dr. Robin McKay, you'll know what I'm talking about with that. So that means I can't help but want to be all in and do a great job and so on. So there's all this expansion happening and it's all great. And I felt a little bit of that wobble. And you know the wobble I'm talking about, right? When you're growing and you're calling in the thing that you wanted. And again, it's all good, but there's this feeling of, can I hold it all? Oh, can I hold it all? What if I drop the ball? What if I disappoint? What if I took on too much? What if I get consumed by this? What if? Now, I'm not worried about any of that stuff. It used to be, and you might be able to relate to this. This is my thing, at least, where I have in the past equated rapid expansion like this with fatigue. And so on some level of consciousness, I have to decide, do I want to be tired or do I want to grow? That's not actually true, of course. I can have growth and I can have energy from the growth, right? But we all know this. We can either get sick or someone brings a drama to our doorstep just when we happen to be growing, or, there's something, right? And we tend to create these reference points of every time I grow, this happens. So the reason I'm sharing this with you today is that I noticed something different last week. I caught myself this time. I caught myself in the wobble. And I went, okay, you're all good. You have the capacity, because this is the next wobble that we need to address that I don't really openly talk about. And people that make 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, they'll talk about this a little bit more. We move through these first 3 critical stages, right? To really hold a leap. And then there's this other piece. It's almost like an extended piece, which is, do I really trust in my capacity to have more, to hold more, to keep expanding and allow it to keep getting lighter and more energizing as I expand? How much good can I handle? What is my capacity to handle all of this? Do I trust myself? Do I trust that I'm supported? Can I keep creating this and have it keep getting even better? So in this particular phase, this is where you'll be able to see any unconscious or invisible duct tape that has always been there, but it's only going to reveal itself in this phase of the quantum leap. This is where you're going to see whether your team is actually as solid as you knew them to be, or you thought you knew them to be. In most cases, something's going to reveal itself in your team, right? Maybe that person only had the capacity to get you this far, and they just don't have the vibrational capacity and or desire to calibrate with you to your next level. And then you're left with having to make a decision, right? Which will be to take the elevator down to the lobby and meet them and stagnate the business growth so that they are comfortable, and or so that you don't have to hurt feelings, or whether you're going to recognize that and say, okay, I've so appreciated this team. They've got me here. I am needing to invite in a new team to get me to this next level. So that is something that can happen. In this case, I'm glad to say, I'm so grateful to say that, in fact, my team is even stronger than I knew them to be. And I knew that they were amazing. I have the best flipping team ever. And all of this exponentializing only revealed that we're solid. And this allows me to do even deeper of a trust fall with them and keep creating and keep expanding and keep hiring and keep doing all the things that I want to do that feel good for me, that I know the business needs, that I know is in service to my clients, that I know is in service to my strategic partners, and so on, because they've got me. Literally not a single crack revealed. And I don't even know if that's ever been the case for me before. It hasn't been crisis before, but it's definitely revealed some stuff where I'm like, right? This type of growth also reveals to us whether certain things need to still stay in the business. Maybe there's some programs that we love. They were our babies, but we need to retire them because they just aren't going to calibrate with us to where we're going. And then we can have that wobble that pops up. Or Well, strategic partners, maybe people, promise certain things and then they didn't actually honor their word, or it was kind of half-assed or something like that. And that's not good or bad. It's just information, right? That allows you to make decisions like, does it still make sense for me to align in this way, at least, maybe a different way, but in this way with this partner? Or do I need to go and build relationships with some new partners and or? It can reveal to you whether the way in which you're managing your time is in support of your growth, and what is getting your time that actually isn't a priority, that you didn't realize wasn't a priority, or anything to do with that allows for more spaciousness for you, maybe more productivity, things like that. Allows you to see where you might be micromanaging, or where you're undercharging, or where you're maybe abdicating CEO types of things that really, it can only be you that's doing it. There's all kinds of things that it's going to reveal this phase of quantum leaping. And again, it's all just information. It only means something when we place meaning on it. It's literally just neutral information that allows you to make informed decisions as a CEO. But in this leap, the big opportunity here is to look at, do I have the capacity? Have I decided that I have the capacity for more? Have I built my inner and outer world to support my capacity to receive more? And how am I going to celebrate myself in witnessing this growth and who I become to go from this level to this level? And do I have the capacity for more? And of course, the answer is always yes. But in that wobble, which is really in part the monkey mind, right? There's a decision that we need to make, which is, am I going to let the monkey mind run the show, or am I going to allow the CEO of my life and business to run the show? And that's going to determine how we navigate that. The bigger issue under this is, and Gay Hendricks talks about this in The Big Leap. I'm imagining you've read it because it's a pretty popular book. If you haven't, highly recommend it. But we are so programmed with society, or in society, that we can't have it all. Either someone else is somehow magically suffering because we've chosen to have it all and they've chosen not to, or we don't like the reverberation of people's jealousy, or competition, or comparisonitis, or any of those things that get projected into our field, so we contract a bit. It's not safe for me to have it all. It's threatening to other people. I get attacked. Other people feel badly. All the things, right? And so that's really what it's about, because if we didn't have to consider any of that, we would just keep growing and growing and growing. So I share this with you today because I'm happy, like I'm proud of myself actually for being able to hold that, because that was a lot of growth. It was all good. Even my team messaged me. They're like, Jennifer, we were really doing a great job with your calendar. You were really smartening up basically, and not filling your calendar constantly with things. And you had a lot of spaciousness, and you were downloading so many cool new things because you had the space, right? The mental bandwidth basically, and the creative bandwidth to download the bigger things that as a CEO you need to do. How did this calendar creep happen? They didn't blame me, right? They were being playful, but it was true. I had some calendar creep. And granted, it's all time limited, but I recognized in that, okay, there's actually more room for me to build in mini celebrations all the time for even the littlest things. And then there's more opportunity for me to look at, what else can I delegate to my team? This month, because of this, I've delegated all of my calls to my team. I was already having them interview and stuff, but anyone that wants to get on a call with me, I really don't have the bandwidth. I'd love to have the bandwidth, but I don't. So if I don't have a relationship with someone and they want to chat about strategic partnership or so on, they still get to talk to the company. They just don't have to talk with me, and they don't have to talk with you, right? We only do that because we created something in our head that says that needs to happen. My team has increase the amount that they're interviewing. I'm delegating way more copy and things to them that my brain had decided I need to review or I need to write. I trust them. They know me. They know how I think. They know my frequency. They know my voice. They know the standard of copy and or graphics and or whatever that I feel comfortable releasing. They know how I'm likely going to respond to certain requests and so on. So I've really built myself out of a job, which is a good thing, because I didn't, and you didn't, right, get in the job to be a manager. We got into this to be a CEO, and we got into this to help people. But now we get to decide, am I going to be the one that's helping people, or is my company going to be the one that's helping people? And that's the journey I've been on for the last few years, is really extracting myself out of this and building a training school instead of building services around me. I can be delivering service, but I don't have to be the only one. And that, as you can imagine, brought up its own host of identity crises and all the various things, right? Because that creates a wobble in and of itself. Point is I'd love to invite you to be with this energy throughout the week of what else would be possible for me if I truly trusted in my capacity to hold everything I'm currently manifesting and everything that I desire. What if I'm desiring it, and what if I'm manifesting it because I already have the capacity to not only receive it, but to hold it, and to hold it with grace, and to hold it with ease. And don't answer the question, just live in that question, right? Of filtering things through that, and then see what else is possible. See how else the universe can surprise and delight you. See how money can razzle dazzle you. See how all kinds of amazing unexpected things can be coming through your business as a result of stepping back and being an allowance. So I hope this served. If you are someone that is already making great money and you're now ready to call in even more rapidly, I kind of have a frequency. I'm an 8-figure CEO. So when people step into my world, they calibrate up quickly and they start entering into the vortex of what an 8-figure world looks like. And so there's a lot of exponentializing, right? It's not for everyone. It's not for people that don't like to move at the speed of light. But I'm an accelerator and I'm an amplifier, right? So people, when they come into my world, they have to be kind of ready for it. And they can either enjoy the ride or put on their seatbelt and grip and hold on for dear life, right? So if you're someone that actually enjoys speed, if you want to be having rapid expansion in your business and in your income, then I'd love to chat with you. I have a few different assessments that I'd like to do with people so that you can see what needs to be calibrated. And I have a Made for Millions activation that I'd like to give personally, right, on a call, and make it a little bit bespoke. So this is for people that are 6-figure earners that want to get to 7 figures, not because they want the money, although I do want you to love money enough to be willing to let it in. And but this is for people that are mission driven, right? Like, I don't need to help you make money. That's boring to me, honestly. And there's a ton of bro marketers online that will happily take your money under the illusion that they're going to help you make it. So I'm not that person. But if you have a mission-driven business, if you actually are motivated to help people really create results and solve problems and so on, and you're 6 figures and you're ready to now create your 7-figure year or more, then just private message me and let me know that you're interested in the activation and the assessment, and we will look at how to get that set up for you. So let me know if this served. I hope it did. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful and abundant week. I'll see you next week.